I have a small motor, an amp and voltmeter, 50 amp shunt, and just a 12 volt 12 amp hour battery set up. And our motor is a MY16 24 volt DC, 15.5 amp, outputs 280 watts. So I'm going to do a discharge test on our 12 volt 15 amp hour lithium battery, but I'm going to do a quick demonstration of our setup with the SLA battery. So our meter says we're starting off with 12.7 volts in our little SLA battery pack, and we're drawing no amps. Switch our motor comes on, and the voltage dropped down to 12.4 volts, and the meter shows we're drawing 9 amps. It's our little motor. I've got our 3S 12 volt 15 amp hour lithium battery connected up to our small motor and voltmeter and amp meter, and it's showing 11.6 volts in our battery. I've also got this as a secondary meter, and it's showing 11.8 volts. Now I'll turn our motor on. We'll see what kind of numbers we get. Got to 11.78, and our meter is showing 11.6 volts and drawing 8, 9, well, 10 amps. No, between 8 and 10 amps. Well, it's been 5 minutes, and the red meter is showing 11.72 volts. And our black meter is showing 11.5 volts and drawing, that's bouncing between 9 and 10 amps. So not much difference or change. Just to see, let's put a little more load on this thing. Module seems unfazed, and we're still drawing the 9 to 10 amps. Motor's not even warm to the touch. Our main power wires seem okay. Battery seems fine as well. Alrighty, well, she can clearly handle this load, so and it jumps, or don't jump, but stays at 11.73 with no more load. This one's at 11.5 with no amp draw. Alright, that was our little 24 volt, about 250 watt motor. We're going to try something a little bigger. This is a 48 volt, no, it's a 24 volt, 450 watt motor. It's supposed to draw 25 amps. So, it's a bit bigger than the little fella we tested. So as of right now, we're sitting at 11.6 volts on the black meter and 11.74 on the red meter. Got her clamped down, so we will commence our test. Red meter's at 11.72 volts now, and seem to be drawing about 9-10 amps like the other motor. And we're at 11.5 volts on the black meter. We got our block of wood. Let's add a little extra load to the motor and see what it says. I'll add a load again. Well, we've tried the 24 volt 250 watt motor and the 24 volt 450 watt motor. Now I've got a 48 volt 1000 watt motor connected up. So our red meter is showing 11.72 and our black meter is showing 11.5. Our motor's on. Red meter got down to 11.44. Black meter is 11.3. And I know we can't be drawing any kind of volts or amps. This is the motor I kind of overloaded on the Hellraiser cart. Shot the sparks and flames right out the back vents there. But it still got me back home. Add a little bit of a load and see what it does. There's no way this thing is drawing 94 amps. I don't know why we're getting the weird amp readings, unless it's just because of the damaged motor. It is zipping along, unloaded. It certainly is not drawing 90 amps. But our voltage meter is showing 11.1 to 11.2. And our red meter is showing 11.35. So our 3S 12 volt 15 amp hour battery can even handle cranking over this whole thing. I don't know why we're getting the weird amp readings, but our black voltmeter is showing 11.1 volts right now. Our red meter is showing 11.34. And our 1000 watt motor is coming along. I'm going to let it go a little bit and drain our battery down, but our little 3S 12 volt 15 amp hour lithium module seems to be holding up, even cranking up this 1000 watt motor steadily. Well, it's getting kind of dusk on us. It's about 8:30 at night. Started the test about, let's see here, 6:30 with our little motor, and then the bigger motor, and then now we're on the 1000-watt motor. And black meter is down to 10.8 volts in our battery pack, and our red meter is showing 11.07 volts. And our little battery pack's been doing great. We haven't been running motors for 2 hours straight, but on and off this whole time. Well, I'm going to run it down to about 11 even. I think that should be good enough for this test. Not 11, 10. Yeah, so we got, well, about a volt to go by that meter, or 0.8 of a volt. But still humming along. Yep, it's about dark now. Our black meter is showing our battery pack at 10.3 volts. Our red meter is showing about 10.5. Still running the 48 volt 1000 watt motor. It is very hot and has an odor coming out of it. Not too bad, but alrighty, with the motor off, we jump back up to, or flattened off to 10.7 volts on the red meter and 10.5 volts on the black one. I brought our 3S 12 volt 15 amp module inside in the light just to get a better look. It is setting at 10.74 volts after our 3 small motor test, and I've been checking and listening, and I see no swelling, no smells, no sounds, and I also felt it several times during the discharge, and no obvious heat either. Alright, I'm going to let it sit overnight and monitor the voltage, how well it sits, and we'll go from there. More to come.